I'm Claudette Montana Pattison with FanNation Now, joined by Chad Jensen, publisher of Mile High Huddle. And Chad, Deshaun Watson, quarterback for the Houston Texans, has recently been connected to the Denver Broncos with some possible NFL trade rumors as the NFL trade deadline approaches here in November. So in your opinion, could Deshaun Watson be a Denver Bronco this year?
Could he? Maybe. Will he? I seriously doubt it. Watson was connected by Ian Rappaport on Sunday. And, for those who are keeping score, this isn't the first time his name has been connected to the Denver Broncos. But on Sunday, with the trade deadline barreling down, it's November 2nd, Ian Rappaport kind of stirred the pot again, saying, quote, multiple teams are still interested in trading for Deshaun Watson. Among the teams that have been discussed over the past several months are the Panthers, Broncos, Eagles, and, quote, some others. And obviously the most smoke on this story is coming from Miami, whether you want to believe that or not, after they just spent a top 5 pick on Tua less than 2 years ago. As for the Denver Broncos, the problem with Deshaun Watson is, all things being equal, if you just looked at him as a player, it's a question of what wouldn't you give up to acquire Deshaun Watson? But the problem with him is he's become radioactive. There is a reason, beyond the fact that he was disgruntled, that the Texans are willing and ready to move him. And the fact is that he's got those, I think it's off the top of my head, I'm not a mathematician, I'm starting to lose count here, 25 allegations of sexual misconduct. And so you don't know as a team, if you're George Paton, the general manager in Denver, and it's probably going to cost you an arm and a leg to get Deshaun Watson to Denver, are you willing to risk that if something ends up coming more from, if more ends up coming out about the allegations that he's currently been accused of, whether that comes in the form of criminal charges, whether that comes in the form of the NFL conduct policy handing down a suspension to him. So you don't end up, you give up a first-round pick, 2 first-round picks. I'm guessing it's going to be at least a first-round pick and at least a second-round pick to get him. Is that a risk that you think is worth taking if his name indeed becomes mud, whether it's through getting suspended, criminally charged? If this guy becomes the next Ray Rice, heaven forbid, let's hope it doesn't come to that, he becomes bona fide radioactive, you can't have your team associated with him in any way, shape, or form. That is why, Claudette, I would be very surprised if the Broncos ultimately made the move. Now, if he was just a free agent and you take a flyer, sure. But the fact that you would have to risk giving up serious premium draft capital on a chance, that's where I think George Paton ends up maybe putting his finger on the trigger, but not quite pulling it.